Hey guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about irregular verbs. Now, what are irregular verbs? Simply put, irregular verbs are where you have a verb which, when you would like to modify for the past tense, doesn't follow the initial pattern that most other verbs would follow, where you would end with ed to indicate the past tense. Instead, you actually change the entire spelling of the word itself to show that this verb has occurred in the past. So we're going to go over a few examples. So today's focus in particular is going to be on the verbs go and do, which are hopefully on the screen. Now, go and do have special forms to indicate past tense. So for example, if I go somewhere, I wouldn't say I goed somewhere. Instead, I would say I went somewhere. Same thing with do. For instance, I have to do my homework. If someone were to ask if I've done my homework, I wouldn't say, yeah, I doed my homework. So I wouldn't take do and add ed to it to indicate past tense. Instead, I would change the whole spelling and write did to show past tense. Now we're going to look at some examples of when to use go and do and which form to use it in. So the first example sentence I'm going to give you is, our class blank to the library to learn about pollution. So in the blank, what I'd like for you to do, and I'm going to set the think time, is to consider whether or not to use the verb go or do in that blank and which tense to use. Which form of the irregular verb, which is again go and do, these are irregular verbs, which tense to use in the sentence. So I'll give you a moment. So hopefully for this blank, you've indicated that I would need to say the word. Hopefully in this example, you settled on using the verb went. Now, we went to the library to learn about pollution. All right, second sentence. Last year, we blank a lot to stop pollution. So again, we're looking at the verbs go and do. And we're concentrating on which tense to use and how to apply it to the sentence, knowing that it's an irregular verb. So again, look at the sentence, think for a moment, and when you're ready, jot it down. So hopefully by now you've determined that the best verb to use in this blank is do. However, it is irregular. So to make it past tense, because it's an event we've already done, we would modify it to change the word to did. So last year we did a lot to stop pollution. Now for our third example sentence, it is toxic waste should not blank into the ocean. Again, considering that our verbs are go and do, and the tense, based on the context of the sentence, meaning how I'm using it, I'd like for you to determine what goes in that blank. And I'll give you some time to think. All right, hopefully you've settled on the idea that for this blank, I would need to use the word go. Now again, just as a reminder, irregular verbs don't follow the same pattern that other verbs do to indicate past tense. Meaning I wouldn't add ed to those words that are considered irregular to show that it occurred in the past. Instead, you would change the spelling of the word. And today we focused on go and do as our two irregular verbs. In the next one, we're going to discuss some additional irregular verbs. All right, for now, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks again.